Born and raised in Edinburgh, Robert Alaniz wasn't just about building strong teams. He was committing to building strong individuals. From his early days as a coach to his tenure as the first head football coach at Edinburgh North High School when it opened in 1991. Under his leadership, young athletes learned more than just the playbook. They learned resilience, accountability, and the value of hard work.
Well, we're going to celebrate Coach Alaniz and what he's done for our community, what we've done for our community in general, what he's done for our school community, and what we've done for all the students and staff that have been touched by him in one way or another. He was a mentor to me personally. I've learned many things from him that I still to this day have the things that I learned from him to this day, I think made me the person that I am. It's gonna be his legacy, for all that he's done, for all the people that he's touched. Not only athletes, students again through his system. Even though I went through his system as an athlete, he impacted me more when I became a colleague, and I spent time with him, and I learned from his wisdom, and I can truly say that he was a mentor to me.
It's a great honor to have Coach Alaniz having the dedication to this new building for athletics because, like I said, I'm really honored to be an athletic director of Edinburgh and to follow in the footsteps of Coach Alaniz, Coach Flores, Roy, and Coach Filoteo, Coach Roy Garza. But just to have all these people here that love him, that understood that he was a big part of the success that we've had in Edinburgh in athletics. He was the foundation. That's what I say. He was the foundation for the success of Edinburgh athletics. So just to be a part of it, it just brings a lot of joy to myself.
Well, Coach Alaniz, not only was he a coach of mine, he gave me my first job straight out of high school. When I graduated high school, I went to UTSA to go run track, and it was a situation where I needed to come back home and help support my family, so I transferred back home. And when I transferred back home, one of the first calls I got was from Coach Alaniz and Coach Lopez, asking me if I was interested in the job. And at that time, I was working at a car wash, making like $6 an hour. Trying to go to college, and so when they called me, I came for the interview, and I found out they were going to pay me like $10 an hour. So I was like, "Oh man, I'm making it, right?" But in that, one of the biggest things that he did, and was a requirement of that position, was I had to go to school. I had to go to college and get a degree. And it was a very crucial time for me because when I came back home, I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep going to college, right? My mom needed help. I had 3 younger brothers and sisters that needed support. So I thought maybe college isn't for me. But Coach Alaniz made sure, hey man, you got a job here. You don't have to worry about anything, but you do got to go to school. And so I really do accredit a lot of my accomplishments to Coach Alaniz. And I don't want to get emotional or anything, but what him and Coach Lopez have done for me, you can't put a number on that, and you can't put words to that, because he literally provided me an opportunity. And not only that, when I worked for him, he provided me a lot of structure. My father passed away when I was very young, and he passed away when I was actually working here for Coach Alaniz. And so the support Coach Lopez and Coach Alaniz provided me, as a young 18, 19-year-old kid, needing that guidance from a male figure is immeasurable.
From the first day of practice, Coach Alaniz set the tone and the expectations for both his players and his coaches. We gave him an undefeated season that campaign. All of the confidence and determination that he had first worked and paid off for the team. Then the universe cracked and Edinburgh split into 2 high schools, and he became the head coach at Edinburgh North High School. That first year we struggled, but Coach Alaniz kept his faith in us. He gave us confidence, he gave us discipline and determination, and the following year we gave him and the school the first district championship and a 10-0 undefeated season.
As a coach, he was different than any other coach I'd ever had, and he was the first coach that really held you accountable for the work you put in. And he didn't play favorites, and he really saw who performed well who didn't perform well. But when I made mistakes, he let me have it, and he didn't let me make excuses. And I think that's one of the keys in how he coached. He didn't let you make an excuse. He made you own it. If you made a mistake, you owned it. If you did well, you owned it. And so he was very similar to my college coach, Lou Holtz. That's how he was. You had to perform, and you were afraid if you didn't. And he was the first coach that I really felt obligated, that I really had to do my job.
Coach Robert Alaniz, when you hear that name in Edinburgh, it comes alongside of Coach Richard Flores, Coach Robert Vela, Coach Robert Alaniz just as well. Those three were the main pillars of ECISD and the athletic department and what we are today. And I'm glad that we have finally taken that step forward to commemorate him, his legacy, and renaming our athletic department, our athletic building, the Robert Alaniz Athletic Building.
This goes back to when we were in high school. We were teammates on the 64-65 football team. Coach Alaniz graduated in 65. I graduated in 66. We went off to college and the Army. Didn't see much of each other at that time until 72 when I joined him at South Junior High, brand new school. He opened it in 71, and we worked together for 29 years. Then we opened Edinburgh North in 1991, and I stayed with him till 2000, till he moved on to the athletic directorship here at the stadium. Everything has been a blessing, and family has gone through Edinburgh, so I'm happy to have done what I've done along with him.
Well, it's very special for people like me being from Edinburgh. He had a very special relationship with him because not only was he one of my football coaches, but he was best friends with my father growing up. So I've known him since I was as far as I can remember. He was a really great role model for all of us, and even though I had a great role model, but it was just extra. And we really appreciated that, and have a lot of respect for him.
I began as a coach, and during those times when Robert was part of our coaching staff and later on became our head coach, I learned so much from the man. He is one who, from all of the years that I coached with him, I remember that quiet strength that he has, a strength that in his own way, very professionally, very respectfully, he emanated that to the rest of us as coaches. It was in my first years of my teaching career, and I learned so much about that, about being professional, about being respectful, and really earning that type of understanding from our players and our coaches, that they looked up to him to help develop those types of characteristics that are part of athletics. The discipline, the respect, the loyalty, the trust. Those things are things that he lived, and through his example, not only did the students and the athletes learn, but so did we.
Coach invested so much time and effort on hundreds of kids, including myself. I know when we went from North Middle School, which is a central administration, to the South, I went to 7th and 8th grade there with him, and my mom wouldn't want to let me play. So we had to go visit my mom a couple of times, finally convince her to play. So I played for him. And then when I graduated, I came back, and when South became the 9th grade school, so I worked for Coach there, and then a couple of years later, they opened North. So I went as part of his staff. So I was there. I mean, Coach Alaniz gave me like 7 or 8 jobs.
I think Coach has touched a lot of lives. As we can see here this morning, former players, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's so appropriate that this building's named after him, and excited about it. So he's been a mentor to many, and he was one of my mentors, where very consistent as far as being fair with all his coaches, and that means a lot. Again, teaching those skills that he learned at the university, where he can bring people together and be unified. And as a former educator and as a former physical education teacher, that sportsmanship, right? So we can agree to disagree, but we're still friends.
I'm honored to see this athletic building bear my name. I would also like to thank the numerous of administrators, principals, assistant principals, teachers, paraprofessionals, secretaries, maintenance personnel, school and city police, bus drivers, students, parents, athletes, and coaches, and all the former board members that I had the pleasure of working with. They're the ones that helped me do the things that were for the betterment of ECISD athletics. And for that, I thank each and every one of them for being there for me. Thank you. I would like to thank the board members, Luis Alamilla, Javier Salinas, Leti Garcia, Leti Flores, David Torres, Carmen Gonzalez, and Dominga Vela. And I also want to thank the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Mario Salinas. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this very special ceremony, the Robert Alaniz Athletic Department ribbon cutting ceremony. Today we come together as a community to honor not just a man, but a legacy built on dedication, mentorship, and a lifelong commitment to shaping the lives of young athletes right here in Edinburgh. Robert Alaniz is a proud son of Edinburgh whose impact can be felt in every corner of the district, from the locker rooms to the classrooms, from the sidelines to the hearts of the people that he influenced the most. Today, we proudly dedicate the Robert Alaniz Athletic Department as a lasting tribute to a man whose name is synonymous with integrity and dedication. Thank you all for joining us today. At this time, please stand for the singing of the national anthem. Singing today will be JEHS choir members Jaden Vasquez, Melanie Orozco, and Gabby Castillo.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you all very much. Please remain standing. At this time, saying the Pledge of Allegiance, the Texas Pledge, and the invocation is former JEHS football player Jonathan Solis.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Now for the benediction. Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather here today in unity and celebration to honor the remarkable legacy of Coach Robert Alaniz. We invite the Holy Spirit to bring gratitude and reflection into our hearts as we dedicate this new athletic department to a true leader, mentor, and champion. We pray that this space be filled with the echoes of his teachings, the strength of his guidance, and the passion he instilled in every student athlete fortunate enough to cross his path. Let us remember that his influence extends far beyond the playing field, shaping not only athletes, but also future leaders, instilling values of perseverance, teamwork, and integrity. As we officially dedicate this athletic department today, may it serve as a beacon of inspiration for generations to come, a place where dreams are nurtured, friendships are forged, and champions are made. May we commit to carrying forth his legacy, fostering a community that embodies the spirit of dedication and excellence he so passionately exemplified. Let us celebrate Coach Alaniz today, and may his memory live on through every victory achieved within these walls. May the Lord bless us and keep us in his heart, and may we forever be grateful for the grace and mercy he shows us. May we all be safe on our way home. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. At this time, I would like to recognize our Edinburgh CISD Board of Trustees. All can take a seat, please. Mr. David Torres, Board President, please stand. Mrs. Carmen Gonzalez, Vice President. Dr. Louis Alamia, yes. Ms. Letty Flores, who's not in attendance, and she's secretary. Board member Letty Garcia. And board member Javier Salinas. Board member Dr. Louis Alamia. And board member Ms. Dominga Minga Vela. I would also like to recognize our athletic department, Oscar Salinas, our athletic director, and the staff that also works here with them. I would also like to recognize in attendance is Edinburgh City Mayor Ramiro Garza, Councilmember Jason De Leon, Councilmember David Salazar, Councilmember Dan Diaz, and of course I'd like to recognize our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Mario Salinas, and Councilman Dan Diaz. I'd like to also recognize some of our former mayors, Mayor Joe Ochoa, former district attorneys Rene Guerra, former city councilman Johnny Garcia, and our former board members Gilbert Enriquez, Roy Peña, Sam de la Garza, and Jaime Chavana. Former City Councilman I'm sorry, I've already announced you. Thank you. The Alaniz family, I'd like to recognize as well Coach Robert Alaniz, his wife Dina, his son and daughter, Natalie and Rick, his brother, Rene Alaniz, nephew, Steve Alanise. All right, at this time, if I have missed anyone, I am very sorry. Former DA Ricardo Rios. I'm sorry, Ricardo Ramirez. Ricardo Rodriguez, my apologies. I didn't hear that clearly. All right, if there is anybody that I've missed in the audience, please let me know. And please stand at this time. Okay, to begin our program, I'd like to introduce, and of course, his mother, Robert Alanis's mother, Dolores Alaniz. She's 100 years old and very proud of it. One of our most special guests. All right, to start our program today, I'd like to introduce our Edinburgh CISD Athletic Director, Oscar Salinas.
How we doing today? Fired up today. What a great day today to have this event. Nice and hot football weather, you know, right in August. Right, Coach? He's got us out here in the hot sun like he used to when we were growing up. But thank you all for coming here today for this special occasion that we're having today and the dedication of naming this building to somebody that did a lot for a lot of people here. You're here for a reason. You're here because Coach Alaniz had some part of your life, affected your lives in some part. And mostly, he's been a mentor, a leader, and a disciplinarian for a lot of us here. And for you young people that don't know Coach Alaniz, I'm glad you're here to kind of know what he did, what he's recognized for, and being here. And I want to thank the young people that came today, the coaches for our programs that are here today, for being here and bringing your young people here today. So it's a really special day today. I want to thank our Edinburgh ECISD School Board right now, because this building wouldn't be possible, and obviously our Superintendent, Dr. Mario Salinas as well. When they decided to move us to this new beautiful building, we literally went from the basement odd house to a penthouse because of your side. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I'm not going to lie to you. Thank you for that. We have an opportunity to train, to bring our coaches together, and to build in the legacy of ECISD athletics, to take it to the next level, not just in the Valley, not just in South Texas, but the entire state of Texas, and that's on you guys. Thank you again. And I want to thank you as well, because you made the decision to name this building after somebody. There's a lot of people that are deserving, but this man deserves this honor because he is part of ECISD legacy. So thank you for naming this building under Coach Robert Alaniz. Thank you, guys. It's a very, very special day today. Coach Alaniz is I call him the foundation of ECISD athletics. When we were coming up, Coach Alaniz was our foundation. He built us, he developed us. He was the one who made future champions, and at the time, Bobcat champions, you know, at the time. But as we move on, we were Bobcat champions. Very fortunate to when we went to the 8th and 9th grade campus, and they brought all the entire community together, and we went to visit, we went to 8th and 8th grade. It was just a whole different level when we got to his off-season program. He don't only just developed us physically, but he really made us mentally tough. People like myself, President Torres, Steve Alanise, that we got an honor to be a part, Roy Garza as well. There's a lot, I can go on and on and on. But it was his development of us, you know, that I'm standing here before you. Somebody from La Posada on the west side, because like my mom used to say all the time, like she used to say, mijo, do better than us. Do better. Well, it took people like Coach Alaniz, Coach Vela, Coach Flores, Coach Cueres here, a lot of other coaches that helped along the way to guide us to this point, to put us in this stage, this ability for me to be here today speaking to all of you because of their commitment to us. They cared for us. We weren't just athletes to them. We were like their kids. They molded us into the people we are. And I hope every day that we make Coach proud for all the things that we have done to accomplish, because we are part of his legacy, along with a lot of other coaches, like I said. But thank you, Coach Alaniz, for that. You know, he helped my brothers. We had a family of 4 brothers. My brother Obi was the worst one. You always have that guy, you know, that never does things right. And Coach, you know, he wasn't passing. Coach put him on the B team, made him go up the thing. And, you know, he became a better kid, a better person. You don't know how bad he was. He was pretty bad, guys, and he did a good job of getting. He was pretty bad, and he's doing well now. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's doing a lot better, but people like Coach. And so, again, I got the opportunity to be mentored by Coach as an assistant coach when we started the 8th and 9th grade, the 9th grade campus. And then I was the when I was the athletic coordinator at Alaniz, he was the athletic director. And he was there for me at the beginning when it was tough. It was tough sledding, really, really tough sledding, but he never let me give up. He always gave me hope. He always would sit down and say, keep with your plan. Keep with your plan. It will all turn out well for you. And it did. It really did. And then when I went to La Feria, became the athletic director there, he would always call me and give me advice. Hey, coach, he would go to our games. He would still go to some of my games and, look, this is what you're doing wrong here, doing this. So he's always been a part of my life, a part of a lot of people's lives. So I want to thank Coach for that. It's a great honor to be the athletic director here today. I have big footsteps to follow. Coach Richard Flores, Coach Alaniz, Coach Roy Garza. Coach Roy Garza is here back there. Coach Roy Garza and Coach Filoteo. Now myself, I have some high standards. I have to do well. I got to wake up every day. Every day I got to wake up and make sure that standard's high to live up to their name, to live up to their legacy. So that's what we do here, and that's what we're going to do under this great name of Coach Robert Alaniz in this building. So again, thank you guys. In closing, Coach, in behalf of myself, school board, the community, congratulations, well deserved. Thank you, and to the family. God bless you guys. Next is Coach Superintendent. Next, I'd like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Mario Salinas. Let's give it up for him.
When we first started to move over here, I told Salinas, be careful who you invite to this facility. Don't make the same mistake that King Hezekiah made when he invited the Babylonians into his palaces. Later on, the Babylonians came and invaded and took away his palace. I want to talk about Robert Alaniz. He was my coach as an 8th grade football player, but that's not where he made the greatest impact on me. I want to talk about Robert Alaniz as a friend. He made a big impact to me when I became a teacher. When I first started teaching at here in Edinburgh CISD, I was assigned to the freshman campus. Back in those days, it wasn't like we have it today, where you get a teacher new to the profession, we assign a mentor, and then the mentor shows the teachers the rope throughout the year. In those days, you were on your own. And so I started teaching. I came from the east side, barrios, poor. Some of the people there were my former teachers. I was very intimidated. I didn't talk to anybody. From the first semester, I didn't talk to a soul. I minded my own business, went to do my lessons in the workroom. I didn't talk to anybody, I just did my work. Late in the spring, Aníbal Gorena, and I saw him back there. Aníbal Gorena, he was a fellow science teacher, invited me to go lift weights in the weight room. And I said, yeah, I can go with you. And I go back there to the weight room, and Robert Alaniz is there with Roy Peña, with David Chavana, and they're lifting weights there, and I go in there, and David Chavana tells me, hey, do you happen to run? Are you a runner? And I told David, as a matter of fact, I am a runner. He says, we need somebody to help us with the Beach to Bay. It's a relay marathon in Corpus Christi. I said, yeah, you can count me in. He said, we're going to do a training run if you want to run with us. It was Roy Peña, Robert Alaniz, David Chavana. I said, sure, I'll follow you guys. So we took off from Barrientos towards Sprague. It was kind of misty. I remember the day very clearly because these guys, I didn't really talk to Robert because when he was a coach, he was a quiet man. You really didn't talk to him. So, you're going to stay away from him, right? So I just followed along. So they get the Freddy Gonzalez down Sprague Street. They keep going. And I'm following behind them. They're yapping away. I'm following behind them, the young guy, right? They get to Canton. They get to Jackson. Jackson is a dirt road at the time. And they head north to 107. And I'm following along. And then they head going west. I'm thinking that they're going to stop at McCall and head back, right? So they get to McCall and keep going. The Robert
Roy and David, they keep going past my car. Oh, this guy's not stopping, so I keep going, following behind. For sure, they're gonna stop at. They're gonna turn around on 10th Street. They get to 10th Street and still going. All right, so I'm hanging in there, and then hopefully they'll stop on Depot Road and head back. Finally, they get to Depot Road. They start heading back. We make our way back to Barrientos. And so that began a relationship with Robert and with David and with some of those. We did the Beach to Bay. At the time, Robert was not married. I was not married. David was not married. Every weekend, we'd go out and find a road race. Austin, the Capital 10,000, the Padre Island, Corpus Christi. We'd go everywhere, every weekend, to go run. And Robert became very close to me as a result of those long trips. He would talk about money and investing in money and things like that, all the way up and all the way down. And then that kept going. That friendship kept going with that fellowship, that running, and he was still a bachelor. 4 or 5 years down the road, we became really, really close. And he told me, Mario, he tells me, you've been renting all this time. You've been renting an apartment. You need to be thinking about buying a home, a house. You're throwing your money away. And with me, you know, born on the east side, on a house, no air conditioning. I didn't have a clue. I didn't even think about buying a home. But I did. Thanks to Robert Alaniz, he convinced me to buy a home at the age of 30. Bought a home, later sold it for 3 times what I paid for it. And so he's had a tremendous impact. The loyalty that Robert has to you as a friend, and you, everybody that knows him here, the loyalty that he has to you through thick and thin is unlike any other. And I learned that from him too, to be loyal to others, to friends. I learned that from him. A lot of the things that I do now as a person, as a human being, is a result of Robert. I didn't have a mentor growing up. He was my mentor, him and his friends. Later, as spent a lot of time with Robert in my formative years when I was teaching and later coaching, I became friends with his friends. And then that relationship that I had with Robert and his friends later paid big dividends for me. When there was an opportunity to become the principal of Edinburgh High School, Edinburgh North, Robert's friends were on the board of trustees. And I can name them here. There's several of them here. They were on the board of trustees, and when I interviewed for Edinburgh North, thanks to Robert, I'm thinking Robert, I was named the principal of North High School, Edinburgh North High School, and I attribute that 100% to my relationship to Robert. Honestly and sincerely, no hyperbole. I am here because of Robert Alaniz, and he knows it. He knows it. You know, the way I am today, with everything that I do, with my wife, with my children, with my finances, with my work, a lot of it has to do with the influence. A lot of it with the influence that I got from Robert when I was a young, growing man, learning from him and his friends. Robert, I thank you for being my friend. I know you eventually got married. David got married. I got married. We went our separate ways, but I still remember you, sir, for everything that you've done for me as a friend. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to bring up President of the Board, David Torres, but I would like to say one thing. When we invited everyone to come over and have interviews and do interviews, There were so many young men that showed up, and now actually they're older men, but they spoke of the days when they were young men under Coach Robert Alaniz. And one of the things that was a constant was this relationship, this mentorship, this kind of devotion to not just building them as young men, but growing them into older men and growing them into who they are today. And that was a constant thread throughout the interviews that we did, and it was very emotional and it was very touching. We hope to have that video out a little later this summer. We probably had over 22 interviews. We couldn't include them all in the video, but we look forward to you all being able to see them later in the summer. We can bring up President David Torres, please, at this time.
Good evening, everyone. One of the special things, before reading my prepared statement, is that back in the day, one of the things was so impressive in their discipline and how they treated us as athletes was that they used to work us hard. Like, they probably work you hard, but they used to run with us and they work out with us. And Coach Cuellar and Coach Alaniz, Coach Lopez, they would set the example. When we were running miles and miles and they were pushing us to the limits, these guys were doing it with us. Those were different times, but we respect that and appreciate that, Coach. Thank you. On behalf of the Edinburgh CISD School Board, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to every one of you joining us today for this very special occasion, the official unveiling of the Robert Alaniz Athletic Department. Your presence here means so much. It reflects not only the deep respect and admiration we all have for Coach Alaniz, but also the sense of community and pride that makes Edinburgh such a special place. Whether you're a former student, athlete, colleague, family member, or friend, your support today adds even more meaning to this moment. We came together this evening not just to celebrate a name on a building, but to honor a man whose name is already cemented in the hearts of generations of students and athletes. Robert Alaniz is more than a coach or an educator. He's a role model, a leader, and a true servant to this community. Born and raised in Edinburgh, Coach Alaniz has lived a life dedicated to service through athletics, education, and mentorship, as you just heard. His contributions stretch far beyond wins and titles. He helped young men discover their strength, their discipline, and their potential. He inspired excellence not just on the field, but in life. Reflecting on this special event, and as one of his former athletes, proudly I'm one of his former athletes, I can personally attest to that. He did those things. To the Alaniz family, thank you for sharing Robert with us. To our retirees, community leaders, former athletes, and students, thank you for being here to celebrate with us. This gathering tonight is proof of the powerful impact one individual can have when they lead with heart. And he had heart. As we close this event, I ask you to carry the spirit of today with you. Let this building, now proudly bearing the name of Robert Alaniz, be a daily reminder of what's possible when someone believes in their community and gives everything they have to see it grow like Robert Alaniz has done. Thank you again for being part of this incredible tribute. Your presence has made it unforgettable. And I end this with one of his great quotes. He used to hang these quotes when we used to work out before we went to play a game. This is a quote. And one of his great quotes he always reminded us about as young athletes. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. And that's how we conquered so many superior athletes, so many superior things, because he showed us how to fight with heart. Thank you, Coach. Have a wonderful evening, and may Coach Alaniz's legacy continue to inspire us all. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to bring up some of Coach Alanise's family. So at this point, can I have Natalie and Ricky come up to the podium?
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ricky Alaniz, and I'm proud to be the son of Coach Alaniz. It is an incredible honor for our family, and especially for my father, to have a building named after him. Coach Alaniz devoted his life to his work, and it means the world to us to see his legacy remembered in such a lasting way. Growing up, I was incredibly fortunate to call him not just coach, but dad. Over the years, I've heard countless stories from his former players, students, and fellow coaches, stories that spoke about his dedication, integrity, and the powerful impact he had both on and off the field. They told me how he changed lives, not just by teaching the game, but by showing others what it meant to lead with heart, discipline, and purpose. He was tireless in his preparation, often staying up late to watch film, always searching for an edge, always determined to find an answer to every challenge. He sacrificed his time and poured his soul into coaching, always striving to improve, always focused on doing what was best for his team and his players. My sister and I were lucky to witness that firsthand. We got to see his passion, his drive, and his heart, and not just as a coach, but as a father. Even after his players moved on, his influence stayed with them. During my time as a student athlete, I saw parts of him reflected in the coaches who had once learned under him. His values, his voice, his methods. His legacy didn't just live on in stories, it lived on in people. I can say without hesitation, I wouldn't be the man I am today without my dad. His example inspired me to follow in his footsteps and pursue a career in coaching and teaching. It's a path I walk with pride, knowing who paved it before me. Thank you for honoring his legacy today. It means more than words can express.
I just want to begin by thanking everyone for being here today. I was asked to say a few words, but if you knew my father, you understand a few words can never capture who he truly is. As a coach, mentor, and most importantly, as a father. My dad wasn't just my father, he was a father figure to countless athletes over the years. He poured everything he had into coaching, building programs, and helping young people believe in themselves. He was dedicated into his work ethic, always striving to be better, not for his own recognition, but because he believed in the responsibility that it came with it. He didn't care if he was liked or disliked. He cared about doing what was right. He believed in accountability, effort, and doing things the right way, even when it wasn't the easy way. That's what made him such a powerful presence, not just on the field, but in life. Growing up, my brother and I didn't just have a dad, we had a coach who truly lived it every day. He challenged, pushed, and saw potentials in us long before we saw it in ourselves. Looking back, I realized how much those moments shaped me, not just as an athlete, but as a person. I never really saw myself going into coaching, but watching my dad do what he did just inspired me. He showed me that coaching isn't always about wins and losses. It's about showing up, staying true to your values, and always trying to help people grow and be better. One of the most remarkable things about my dad is the relationships he built, not just with athletes, but with his fellow coaches as well. The connections he formed were deep, genuine, and lasting. Even decades later, many of the players and coaches he worked with still keep in touch, stop by to visit, and make time to see him. That kind of loyalty and respect speaks volume about the kind of man he is. Tonight, this recognition isn't just about the wins or the job titles. It's about the lives he touched, the respect he earned, and the legacy he leaves behind. He truly deserves this honor, not because he was just a great coach, but because he is a great man who made a real difference. On behalf of my family, I thank you for celebrating his life, his work, and the impact he had on everyone. Thank you.
At this time, speaking for his father, we have Robert Lopez speaking for Mario Lopez.
Hello, everyone, and good evening. I'm here speaking for my father, Coach Mario Lopez. He was actually working here in the school district for 55 years. And those of you that know my father, which is most people here, you know that the names are synonymous. You know, Mario Lopez and Coach Alaniz. They were always together as I was growing up, as long as I can remember. I even think I might have been named after him because my name is Robert as well. So my father couldn't be here today. My mother had a procedure to be done, so he's with her, and he called me about an hour ago to say if I could take his place. So here I am. I don't have anything prepared, but I'm going to send you some facts and some interesting stats about Coach Alaniz's long career. Coach Alaniz graduated from Edinburgh High School in 1965, where he was a stellar athlete in football, basketball, baseball, and track. He attended Pan American College on an athletic scholarship, graduated in 1969, and started his career at Edinburgh Junior High. He opened South Middle School in 1971 and amassed district championships every year until 1979. I don't believe that they lost a game in those years. From 1980 to 85, Coach headed up 8th and 9th grade campus, no losses in football in 5 seasons. In the fall of 1985 to 1990, Alaniz was a head coach and athletic coordinator at the freshman campus, that is what now is known as Barrientos. No losses in football in all those years. I remember I had a football, just a side note, I had a football that my dad had there at home, and it was like supposed to be a trophy. And of course, as a young kid, we're throwing the football around and playing with it, and I probably shouldn't have. But on that football, it said all the undefeated seasons. So I would like to say it's probably about 15 years or so of undefeated seasons as a freshman and 8th grade coaching. So in 1990, he was named head football coach at the new Edinburgh North High School. The school opened in 1991. In 1992, the Cougars won the district championship in football with a perfect 10-0 record. I want to say that again because that was a huge accomplishment. So a lot of the players are here and a lot of the coaches are here. To go 10-0 after a new school opening, those of you in education know how difficult that is. So the Cougars, and I'm going to say a side note, I might get in trouble for this, but Edinburgh High was, it was Edinburgh High and Edinburgh North was a new school that opened, and that was it. There was only 2 schools. It was a very big deal to open up a second high school in Edinburgh. And it was a lot of, tough transition, we'll say. But Coach Alaniz, we went 8, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this, but we went 8 seasons without losing to the Bobcats. So Edinburgh North Cougars, we're Cougar Pride. I went to school there, so I'm going to say it. The Cougars went on to 3 more playoff seasons in 2000. Alaniz became the ECISD athletic director until his retirement in 2008. He proudly served the district with honor and distinction. Thanks to everyone who celebrates the naming of this office in honor of Robert Alaniz. He was truly a legendary coach. Last thing I just want to say on a personal note, now that I'm up here, Coach Alaniz was a very big part of my life. Him and my father were always together. Like those of you, Coach Guadarrama, I'm looking at you here, and a lot of these other coaches that coach with my dad, you all know me as, little running around. So I was a part of all of that, and Coach Alaniz and my dad were pretty much inseparable. And I was raised a unique perspective. I have a unique perspective because of the way I was raised, not only by my father, who y'all know who my father is, Coach Lopez, tough disciplinarian, just as Coach Alaniz was. So it's kind of like I had both of them, on me. There was no wiggle room, no room for error. Very high expectations, high accountability. I pretty much had that because who my father was and who through Coach Alaniz as well. Everything that Mr. David Torres says is true. The high expectations that he had for his players, the leading by example. He would be out there lifting weights and running with the players. I mean, I don't see much of that, nowadays, myself included. I was a former coach, but Coach Alaniz was out there working hard and running. Dr. Salinas as well. So that was, eye-opening. And the last thing I wanted to say about Coach is that I can't go around town. Everyone asks about, my father, and then they ask about, how's Coach Alaniz? What's Coach Alaniz? So I know that he made a huge impact. It's very proper for this building to be named after him. I'm very happy and glad that happened, Coach, and it's very honorable. And I'm glad that it's your name that's up there. So that's all I have to say. I just appreciate it. It's great growing up with Coach, and I'm glad that he's here, and glad that everybody's here to share this great moment with Coach Alaniz. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. At this time, we're going to go to Ms. Minga Vela.
Thank you. And Robert, you know very well the message I'm bringing to you today from your other very, very good coach and good friend, Robert Vela. Coach Alaniz, Robert Alaniz and Coach Vela were childhood friends. They grew up together playing t-ball, playing baseball, and being and coming from a humble beginning. And to this day, Coach Alaniz has not changed a bit. But my story here is the story of who we are and the legacy that we have through football at ECISD. It is great coaches like Coach Alaniz, Coach Oscar Salinas, Coach Vela, and many, many of our coaches that have instilled in our boys honor, unity, discipline, and praise. So thank you, Robert, on behalf of Robert Vela. And just before I go, I want to tell you all a very short story. Coach Alaniz was already the coach at the Cougars when Coach Vela came to be the coach of the Bobcats. And those of you that are still here present that were board members, Roy Peña, Segundo de la Garza, Joe Ochoa, Jaime Chavana, that brought Coach Vela from the Ed Cauchelsa Yellow Jackets, and that board meeting lasted till about 1 o'clock in the morning. So finally, Coach Vela got home and he said, I got the job. I said, oh my God, that is so great. So I told him, so what's your plan? What are you going to do? And what's the first thing you want to do as the Bobcat coach? He said, to beat Robert Alaniz. Congratulations, Coach.
At this time, I'd like to invite Steve Alanise to come up and say a few words. Thanks.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What a wonderful presentation to be a part of. What a wonderful event. This is just first class. I love it. I'm going to share with you a couple of things, just a couple of quick things, because I'm kind of a connection to the old school when he was at South Junior High. I went to North Junior High, so I didn't play with him from 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, or anything like that. So I just knew him as Uncle Robert. So he's Uncle Robert to me. And so when the schools joined, and the South and North, and we became one school, you wouldn't believe, and Mr. Salinas alluded to it. He said he's quiet. David Torres, I think, said he's tough. I think I heard somebody say disciplinarian. You hear all that. Everybody would come up to me and say, man, I'm scared of your uncle. And that's what, everybody was scared. And it wasn't that he was a big disciplinarian or he was somebody who was just going to, just yell at you for no reason. The thing that he did and the talent that he had is he got the most out of you. He made you accountable for whatever your job was. He basically, he made you feel like when you messed up, you were letting a lot of people down. And that's a sign of a good coach. And I'll just give you one quick story. When I was, you'd think one other quality he had is he didn't play favorites. His favorites were the ones who worked hard and were going to help the team win. That's who his favorites were. Not even his nephew. When I played for him, my whole life I wanted to be quarterback. I wanted to be Roger Staubach. I could do everything a quarterback could do. I could do everything Roger Staubach could do except throw the ball. That was really the only thing I can do. So when those two schools joined, they had kind of a draft and they chose players and whatever. And he chose me. That's a good thing. I wasn't very good. Like I said, I was not a very good quarterback. I was probably third or fourth in line of all the quarterbacks we had. John Paul Cantu was there. We had some other great quarterbacks. And so he kind of tried to find another position for me, but I ended up really his second string quarterback. So one game, we're playing McAllen Memorial, at McAllen Memorial, and for whatever reason, I had to play. The other quarterback wasn't there. Something was going on.
So we're warming up, and I'm rolling out, and I throw this pass. It's like a 10-yard out. The receiver goes about 10 yards over his head, just horrible. I looked up, I don't know if you remember this, and I said, oh, God, what's going on? You know, I was frustrated with myself. And he kind of grabbed my face mask, and he said, look, God's not going to help you here. He said, you've got to own this. You've got to be the one that figures this out. As an athlete, you're going to go through times when things aren't going to go right. You're having a rough warm-up here. And it might have been for like the district championship or something. I don't really remember that. But he kind of told me, he kind of snapped me out of it. And then as I'm kind of going back to the center, I think he said, you know, I think you're hurrying yourself. Calm down, just play catch. And that's what he told me. And so, I don't know if you remember that or not, but we go back and we win the game. And you know what a brilliant coach, a brilliant tactician, Coach Alaniz is? I didn't throw a single pass that whole game. Brilliant. And I don't blame him. Now, you've heard a lot of stories or a lot of labels, and somebody said mentor and coach and athletic director and father. One thing he was to me, and this means a lot to me, is he was a personal trainer. When I got my scholarship to Notre Dame, after I had a minor foot surgery during that spring season, he took me under his wing and he started training me. And being the nephew of a coach, he had the keys to everywhere, so we could get into any weight room, and we get into the stadium, and he'd be working on my speed, he'd be giving me drills, he'd be running stands, doing all that stuff, getting me ready for my first year at Notre Dame. And then we'd get in the mail, I'd get the workouts from Notre Dame, and we'd lift and we'd follow them, and then he had me running hills. Now you're going, where do you run hills? Well, you go north of Edinburgh to Chapin Road and you run over the overpass. Those were our hills. You remember that? And he would run with me. But it helped. It meant a lot to me. And my freshman and sophomore years, I'd go back up there, and the coaches always commented how good a shape I was in. And I was ready. And it's because of him. And then all the other things that you talked about, how dedicated he was to making sure that everybody did their job and everybody was successful. This man was successful at every single level that he participated in. And I got to see a part of that. Old Uncle Robert, name on the building, you know, brings a tear to my eye. It's wonderful. And congratulations, well deserved. Love you.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to bring up Raul Salas for some special remarks.
Okay, so I have a little script here, but if you know me, I go off script a lot. So thinking back right now and wearing this suit and thinking about the hot days that Robert was talking about, well, I'm going to tell you about it, Robert. Back in the day, I was a sophomore at Edinburgh High School, and we were about to open up Edinburgh North. And they had kind of separated us. And they had said, this group's going to be a Bobcat, this group's going to be a Cougar. And during that time, we couldn't use the weight room, the Bobcat weight room. So we have to run across the field and come over here to Parks and Rec and use that weight room. Remember that, Coach? We'd have to use that weight room and kind of build our team together. Things worked out for us. The first year, we struggled a little bit. And the second year, we went 10-0 for the only undefeated season at Edinburgh North. The irony or the best thing about that, because I had a lot of friends that were Bobcats that are still friends of mine, was we went 10-0 and they went 9-1, and only back in the day, only the top 2 teams made the playoffs. So that ought to give you an understanding as to the level of talent that Edinburgh had at the time and still does. It's just in different pieces now. It's in 5 pieces. But you didn't miss practice. You were there every day. You put everything you had into every single practice. Looking at the Echo Motel, I remember my father, he worked there as a maintenance man, and I would run from the freshmen after practice because back in the day, two-a-days was real two-a-days. It wasn't what it's called today. We literally practiced 2 times a day. But let me get back on track here because I could be here for a while, and I know this suit is not for me. Coach Robert Alaniz wasn't just a football coach. He was a mentor, a motivator, and a steady presence during some of the most developmental years of many in our lives. As a head football coach in our high school team, he carried a passion for the game that was contagious. But more importantly, he cared about us as people, not just players. Under his leadership, football was never about winning or losing. It was about discipline, accountability, and teamwork. Coach Alaniz believed how we carried ourselves off the field was just as important as our performance on the field. Looking back, I realized Coach Alaniz taught us more than just plays and drills. He taught us resilience, respect, and how to carry ourselves with pride. For that, I will always be grateful, Coach. He wasn't just a coach, he was a role model who helped shape many of us that are here today. Coach Robert Alaniz holds a special place in his heart with a lot of former students, athletes, custodians, fellow coaches, administrators. Without their support, none of this would be possible. He also wants to extend a heartfelt thanks to the current school board president, and superintendent of schools, Mario Salinas, for helping make this dream a reality. Naming this building in his honor is a fitting tribute to the profound impact he had in the lives of student athletes, coaches, teachers, administrators during his years of service in our district. His name on this building is more than a recognition. It's a promise that his values will continue to guide students for generations to come. As we bring this momentous occasion to a close, we reflect on the enduring legacy of Robert Alaniz, a man whose vision, integrity, and unselfish dedication has left a mark in our community. Today, in naming this building in his honor, we do more than just commemorate a name. We celebrate a lifetime of service, leadership, and impact. Let this building stand not only as a testament of Robert Alaniz's remarkable contributions, but also as an inspiration to all those who walk through its doors. To lead with heart, to act with purpose, and to serve with humility. Thank you.
I think we've heard everything that all of these wonderful people have had to say today. So at this time, I would like to invite the family up here. I would like to invite the board members so that we can officially cut the ribbon and dedicate the Robert Alaniz Athletic Department facility.
Greg Garcia, board members.
I would also like to recognize Greg Garcia, one of our ex-board members. Give us just a second so we can set up, and if the family can come around the front, we will have you all cut the ribbon. And board members, please. Give us just 1 second. Yeah. pull this forward, Mark. Mark, let's pull. Mark, pull this forward. Stretch it out. There you go. Give us 1 second. Give us 1 second so we can count. Okay. Say when, Mark. 1, 2, 3. Cut. Wait. Okay. Cut. All right. Excellent. That was beautiful. Thank you. I'd like to invite people to please come up and take some pictures with the family. And our board members, of course, first. Give us just a second. Take that. Can we have some of the coaches come up as well? Coaches, players, anybody who would like to come up and take some photos. Mark, did you get all with them? Dr. Salinas?
All the ECISD coaches. Coaches, if you can come up, the ones from Econ, the ones from North, Edinburgh High School, if you all can come in, we're going to try to take a picture with all our everyone else that we can? No. Here we go. Yeah. I'm going to try to get all our coaches with the family and our board and everyone. Right. We're going to just do coaches right now. Players, we'll do you guys in a few minutes. We're going to do coaches and our school board, the city council if they like to, that's fine. Okay, after this we'll do the city council again. 1 moment. Coaches right now. I need all coaches to come up. Here we go. Can I get in there nice and tight? Look for a window to find me. Allow to come in there. There we go. Coach Lopez, get in there. Here we go. Let me sit back.